Hi, Evil fans. Welcome to Tori Talks with Dr. S. I'm Tori. This is Dr. S. Today we'll be discussing Evil Season 4, Episode 6. It's called How to Dance in 3 Easy Steps. I was super excited about this episode because it had to do with witches, and I love witches. I love all things witches. And dance. Yes, I danced like most of my life, so that was kind of cool. Yeah. So we, basically it revolves around, well, kind of, Catherine, this dancer who killed her children, and then while she's in jail, she cannot stop dancing. And then that happened with her, like, really quickly. Oh. They went in there, they exorcised her, and she died.
Yeah. The setup was quite hardcore.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's deep.
Did you get season 1 vibes where Kristen's like, well, I think it's bipolar schizophrenia, and David's like, she's possessed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I love when they do that, when they bring it back to the original season. Okay, anyway, so she's gone. Yeah. But there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, like what led her to this. So she is a dancer, obviously. Then we go meet her dance teacher, who's a little intense.
With the lighter?
Oh.
Is that a thing that they would do? No, right?
When I was a ballet dancer, they would, like, hit us. Oh, no, I mean, like, if you needed to point your toe, they'd, like, kick your foot, or they would tap your...
But no
It was like a tap.
Yeah.
They didn't burn us, but, you know, I don't know if in other parts of the world they do that. So it turns out she may have been involved with a group of witches that maybe would put a hex on her. This is what this Megan, this former dancer, is saying. Right. That the movement put a hex on Catherine.
Right. Yes. I love how they also interweave the whole feminism thing, but in a, I don't know, it's kind of problematic. But, like, yeah, did she kill her kids because they, like, were putting a damper on her exceptionalism?
Yeah, I heard that part.
When her demon voice said that, I was just like, ooh, is that where this episode is going? Like, I don't really...
When Isabella was asking Kristen, why do you think she killed her kids? She's like, she didn't want to be a mom anymore. I'm like, well, there's other ways.
Well, and Kristen was making good points about how not just, like, in religion, they often demonize women. Yeah. But less men, and they've also exorcised way more women, like 4 times as many women as men. Mm-hmm. And then I think Ben or David say, like, oh, well, they also do that in psychology, right? Because whenever women have, like, counterculture thoughts, they call her hysterical. So I'm like, oh.
Isn't it funny, hysterical, the hist part of that, and then hysterectomy. Yes. Isn't it interesting how that's all
I love
connected?
When they interweave this commentary in it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
What did you think about Isabella, our head witch? I'm just going to say that. Yeah. It's not like anything was really...
Yeah, she was the spokesperson for the rest of the witches.
She was really good.
Yeah.
She was a good actress. She's creepy.
Her whole vibe was perfectly done. Like, when she went into the confession booth and, like, opened her legs, didn't she give you, like, a whole Fatal Attraction Sharon Stone vibe? I'm like, oh my god, are her legs, like, wide open in David's face?
Is she wearing underwear?
Exactly. I was just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and and he has the whole sex addict history, and it hasn't been mentioned lately, but it's been kind of, like, alluded to in things like this. So I was like, oh, this episode's good.
Yeah, she seemed a little evil. And then during the dance, David sees the sheer sheath of the girl.
Yes, floating around, but her face is covered.
And she, like, screams in his face. I would have been like, stop, like, swatted her away. Yeah. Be quiet.
Isabella said she's the muse, right?
She's the muse. Mm-hmm. But Kristen's kind of into it. And I got Kristen was a former dancer vibes. Well, Katja Herbers. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you remember that song by Royce and Murphy, Night of the Dancing Flame. We're big So You Think You Can Dance fans. They did that performance, and it brought me back to that. But anyway, she's kind of into it. Isabella's kind of into her. But yeah, she goes that little dance circle thing, which that sounds like fun.
That seemed, Kristen's whole attraction to their culture was very interesting. And I like how, because she also has daughters, and they really made the daughter seem annoying and grating in this episode, like a lot of, like, screeching and, like, Yeah. So, and they are also part of why she had to give up her climbing passion to do the whole make a living job. So those parallels were really interesting. To draw and think about.
Yeah. Well, it turns out Megan's the problem. She's the leader of I don't know the house name, but basically the House of Witches. I don't know. Not really,
whatever
but the
sigil represents. So interestingly, I don't know how I caught this. Maybe because we're watching at the crack of dawn today. Mm-hmm. But later, well, we'll talk about Dr. Kurt.
Okay.
And I saw something.
What did you see?
Okay, so that's when, are we going to talk about?
Yeah,
okay.
we'll talk about.
Okay, so when we talk about, I'll say it when we talk about him, but it relates to the sigils.
So excited. Okay. Well, there's another part of this. So Father Dominic, I'm suspicious of Father Dominic because, okay, so there are some Ethiopian clergy that are held captive by some soldiers, and he has David, gives him the coordinates, says, show me your visions, your remote viewing, right? Mm-hmm. And basically David he has two visions where he is one of the captive,
like the main priest who calms them down.
Yes, sings that song of peace, which was beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then another vision where he is the soldier who cuts off the thumb of the priest, but then kills himself. But it was kind of like directed thought. The thoughts directed him to kill himself.
So did he do it?
Right.
Like, did he change the course of the events?
Yeah.
Right?
Which is interesting.
That's what we're thinking. So
because he's screaming murder to Father Dominic. He's like, no. Or he's like, this was for a good reason.
Right.
There's a lot of murderous stuff in the Bible.
So it was like a murder-suicide type thing that David is like, his power is way more powerful than we even thought, because we thought he was just able to like see or be there or feel the emotions of the person. I didn't think that he could control the actions. Yeah. So that's pretty wild.
But he doesn't feel good about it.
No.
And I'm going to side with David here. So I think I'm glad that he's questioning what the Vatican and Father Dominic want him to do, like the motives and everything, because it didn't sit well with me either.
Well, it was very difficult for me to take either side, because if he didn't kill himself, the person who was going to kill the other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So was he going to machete all those people? So did he save those people by killing himself?
True.
Yeah. I mean, was there another option? Could he have just maimed himself?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, Father Dominic saying, so yeah, it's like either he dies or they all die. But I mean, there's other soldiers. So just because he killed himself, I mean, he's the lead soldier. I don't really know.
And isn't that like the justification for a lot of atrocities? Mm-hmm. It's like one crime, lesser than another crime, and etc. It was very, again, very deep questions that Evil's posing in the guise of just like interesting horror show.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Well, anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, if David has a bad feeling, then I have a bad feeling.
Yes, because he's David. A good person.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's talk about Dr. Kurt. Okay. Well, Dr. Kurt, he's a little crazy in this episode, but so he pays somebody to basically give their objective opinion of his manuscript, but then doesn't like when he doesn't have anything good to say and becomes very enraged.
He gets petulant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny. First of all, we never knew where that guy really came from. What was his job, What
are your qualifications?
Yeah, exactly. And then, when he started having a little tantrum.
He really did, didn't he?
Really funny.
The tie-in with the girls, who the girls are just trying to make a really sweet book for their little baby brother, but it has to do with cannibalism and
they
eating their mom.
AI and their own pictures to create this really, weird book.
Yeah, for their
you
baby.
Would be into.
I mean, I would like it, but I'm not of the majority. But they just do it so casually. Like, yeah, of course he would love that the girls are eating their mom. What? Anyway, but this ties into Dr. Boggs. I call him Kurt, Dr. Kurt.
So they used his name as the author, right? Because when they were writing Boggs, I was like, oh, I know that name.
I know.
Yeah, I kind of forgot because random. Because we call him Dr. Kurt. So I didn't see, and then I was like, oh, yes, I see.
So then now Dr. Kurt is feeling a lot better because he's getting all this attention and he's trending. Mm-hmm. And
so he meets with
What are you going to say?
He talks, okay, so you guys, I do not normally see things, okay?
Yes, she does.
I really don't, but I had to pause and rewind on this one because they're talking on the phone, right? So it's cross-cutting between the guy who's read his script or his book earlier and Dr. Boggs, and behind the guy is a painting. Okay? And in that painting is a map of sigils, you guys. I'm not joking. I took pictures. I will send them to you after the show. And then it cuts back to Dr. Kurt, and then it cuts back to him, and they are gone. Never mentioned again. I don't know what was happening there, but I rewound it. I took pictures. I will send them to you. But why?
Oh, that's
and
so
who would catch
cool.
that? I never see little things like that. I mean, it's in a painting, and then you see the sigils.
And then
watch, it's not on my phone anymore. But I will say, we'll let you know.
So cool.
But I don't know what that's about.
Well,
so then, what is this? Is this guy going to be back?
Who is this guy?
I don't know, because it seemed, if not for that, I would be like, okay, whatever. Yeah, throwaway character.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, good catch. I'm so excited to see them.
So weird.
watch it back maybe, but or you can send the pictures.
I'll send it to
you.
Because
I want to see if they're
then
still there.
you're going to go see. Yeah, what if it's not there when you see it?
Oh, that would be so
then
cool.
Maybe I have powers.
Yeah, but you do. You definitely do. You're very intuitive. All right. Finally, crazy Grandma Cheryl. I'm still more confused than ever. Like, what is her MO? What is she doing? Because she's, okay, behind Kristen's back, hanging out with the girls, right?
Yes.
And then, but then when she sees that Andy gave the youngest one, whatever the hell that is, like a dream catcher, it's not. Yeah. But whatever, she's like pissed. But I'm like, wait a minute, but you were a part of that.
Well, but I don't think that she knew that Leland was trying to kill one of her granddaughters.
Oh, the granddaughter.
So
that's true.
She put it together because she knows the purpose of that little thing, right? It's probably like to put them in a deep sleep or something. And then when she dug for more information, she found about the needle. Yeah. So then she was like, oh no, this is like the final straw. You cannot kill one of my granddaughters. And that's why she loses it. Who's in the closet?
Yeah, who was that?
You didn't know either, right?
No. Okay. Again, though, like, you did this. You were a part of the problem, though, also, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you talking about? Like, how can you be so surprised that, Andy was living with the children, that something might happen through whatever. Yeah. But, yes, I get it. Yes, that's her granddaughter. It's like, okay, you can mess with Andy, but you can't. So you can mess with the father of my grandchildren, but not my grandchildren. Whatever.
Right. It's not going to absolve you, but if you kill Leland, you will get some credit back in my life.
Yeah. You'll be completely redeemed.
I'm okay with that.
Actually, I think completely.
Yeah. I'll take it, but I feel like it can't be that simple. He's going to do something to her. It's going to be bad, and this is going to drag out for a while.
That knife that she's holding at the end after he sees the love note that she wrote in her blood. Yeah, it's too good to be true for it to just happen. Yeah. He's going to do his little wormy stuff and try to manipulate her. But
there's going to be something, but I don't know.
Grandma Cheryl could be our hero at the end, but...
What? It was not explained, though. What story did she tell the girls to explain the brother? Because last episode ended with her saying, that's your brother. And then nothing, like no explanation. Like they were just like, okay.
Yeah.
They didn't ask like, how did this happen? How?
And how do the girls, with all the talking they do, how has that not gotten back to Kristen? I don't understand.
Did Grandma Cheryl say, don't tell your mom doesn't want you to know, it'll drive her
I think so, stressful. But I still just don't trust little children to keep secrets like that.
Like four of them too.
Yeah, and like accidentally saying something like, oh, my brother, what?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Just something. They're not that.
And I personally just want to know, what story did she tell them?
Yeah, what did you say?
What did you say? Because I really have the theory that she said it's Andy's kid. Like, he went off and had, I like that that's theory. Why he got sent away or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. It's good stuff, though.
You're right. Dancing Witches, probably my favorite. But anyway.
And I like Dr. Kurt under spells, because the muse got to him, too, right? Because she was there. Yeah. So then it's like bleeding into the other realms of the story. Because he wasn't even involved in that story.
I know.
But yet there he is. And the sigils. Of that guy.
Sigils. Everybody go look.
So there is
for
only
sigils.
I don't know. It's really weird.
Everybody, we're gonna have to start looking around.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to.
That's what it led me to believe. Is like, now I have to watch more carefully. I can't be like taking a sip of coffee. I have to like stare at the screen.
There's little nuggets everywhere. Yeah. Crazy. They still do the hilarious thing at the beginning in the intro where they're like, here, this is how you can prevent being haunted, and then it says show this intro to somebody or watch it twice. I think was last week is what they said.
I love those things, just a little tongue-in-cheek humor, but I wonder if anyone does it because they're really afraid of being like haunted.
Okay, I think that's me, because today we were in a hurry to film. Well, I was like, I'll just skip it this one time. Then I was like, no, what if
way. Like, okay, I guess I'm really superstitious because I was like, oh yeah, no, you can't.
No, I'm not typically, but for some reason I was like, nope, just gonna let it play.
No. Yeah.
It's not.
And then go get someone to show it to.
Yeah, if my husband was awake, I would have. But anyway, okay, everybody, let us know what you thought of this episode, as you typically do. Thank you for that, and then we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.